guys, what are you doing here? What am I doing? Oh, well, I'm just here reading Chris Stuckman's Anime Impact. So, yeah, if you don't mind, I think I'll just continue with that. So, yeah, there's no episode today. So, yeah.
Dude, what in the name of chili dogs do you think you're doing?
Ha! GX, what are you doing here?
I'm here to tell you that you're a lazy suck-up, that's what.
Lazy? Why?
I mean, really? Only 2 videos for Fan Appreciation Month. What kind of stupid joke is that?
Look, I'm a very busy man, alright? I don't have time for another game.
If you don't review another game, I'm going to tell everyone, and I mean everyone, on YouTube that you suck at video games. Especially Sonic. Shut. And believe me, I know, I've seen all of those Sonic Let's Plays. Oh, you would not want that, would you?
Okay, fine. What game do you want to play?
One of my favorite games. Sonic Unleashed.
Oh boy. Greetings, welcome ladies and gents of the Super Gamer. Welcome to another entry in Fan Appreciation Month. Even though it's the middle of May. And today I have a special guest with me. Please, everyone, welcome back to the show, GaiaX.
So I am GaiaX Rebola, and what I do on my channel is I basically do tons of things. I basically do whatever I want. Gameplay, funny moments, channel reviews, and I haven't made a video in almost a month because I'm working on a huge video that I think is going well so far and blah blah blah. You get it, you get it. Let's get on with the game.
And today we're going to talk about a certain Sonic game known as Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Unleashed is the Man of Steel of the Sonic series. The fan base is completely split about it. Some people, like PipPlupFan77, absolutely love it, while others, like Ty Tuesday, absolutely hate it. So what side will I and Jordan be falling under today? Let's find out. This is Sonic Unleashed. Eggman is doing his usual evil routine when Sonic shows up to wreck the party. Sonic smashes through Eggman's robots and has a battle with the Doctor himself, which leads to Sonic using the 7 Chaos Emeralds to transform into Super Sonic. He chases Eggman down as he begs for mercy.
But as it turns out, it's a trap which Sonic falls for, as Rob Schneider drains the power of the Chaos Emeralds from both Sonic and the Emeralds themselves. Eggman then fires a laser at the world, splitting it into several pieces, awakening a powerful being and the god of darkness, Dark Gaia. Spooky.
As Dark Gaia is released, the side effects start to turn Sonic into a hideous and terrifying creature known as the Werehog. He then gets tossed to Earth by Eggman along with the depowered Chaos Emeralds. He wakes up to find a Chihuahua fairy thing lying unconscious.
As it turns out, Sonic fell on this guy when he fell, which is definitely not what happened at all, and it actually really triggers me. And now he has amnesia. The most overused plot device in all of fiction. Regardless, Sonic agrees to help him get his memory back. Somehow. Like, I don't even know how he'll even do that. But he gives him the nickname Chip. After he has somewhat of an orgasm over chocolate chip sundae supreme.
Eventually, Sonic and Chip meet up with Tails and rescue Professor Pickle from Eggman's imprisonment. Professor Pickle explains that the world has been shattered before because of Dark Gaia, which is said to reawaken every million years to destroy the world, so it's up to Sonic and company to restore the power of the Chaos Emeralds and put the world back together. The story for Sonic Unleashed is actually really good in my opinion. It has memorable characters, the writing is great, and it's relatively easy to follow, despite how complicated it actually is. Professor Pickle, Chip, and Eggman in particular are very fun to watch or listen to.
The story is probably the best in the series, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions objectively. And it's probably the only Sonic story I've actually enjoyed. Like Sonic Adventure 2, I was kinda, okay, this is kinda goodish, I guess. But this was a pretty good story. And I'm not gonna spoil much, so let's just get on with it.
This is hands down the best looking Sonic game ever made. Sonic's model looks clean, the environments are all gorgeous to look at, some of which look like they came straight out of a painting. The NPCs in the overworld also look really nice. I wouldn't necessarily say it looks like Pixar, but definitely something from a professional animation studio. And the soundtrack, oh, the soundtrack is phenomenal. You have songs that can range from calm and soothing, like the Chunan Hub World at night, to fast-paced like Rooftop Run Day theme, to the epicness that is the map theme, which is fully orchestrated, or the awesome vocal theme, Endless Possibilities.
Of course, I would repeat a lot of what you've just said. The NPCs look really nice, and yeah, all of that stuff. But from a game that came out 10 years ago, and looks even better than Forces, I'm still having a hard time, like, digesting that. But it truly does look amazing. Absolutely beautiful. There's not a lot to say about it, because I've basically stolen a lot of what I could say, really. The soundtrack is also amazing, and it's very memorable, and all that stuff, and yeah. So yeah, the soundtrack is amazing as well. Every now and again I'll listen to a track from one stage or a hub world or the other, and all that stuff. And yeah, not much more to say on that. It's amazing.
However, I will say that not everything is great. The biggest problem with the aesthetics for me is the frame rate. It's very inconsistent. Sometimes it's as smooth as butter, while other times it's as choppy as wood. It can't seem to make up its mind on what it wants to be. Another thing that annoys me is the battle theme for the Werehog Stages. It's not really a bad song, but it's just annoying how it plays every single time you enter a battle. You could be listening to one of the best tracks in the game back to
So, me and the Soup actually played on different consoles, because he played on a PS3, I played on an Xbox 360, and I actually didn't come into any frame rate problems, even at the Hawaiian sort of themed level that I can't remember the name of, sorry. People like to complain about that level a lot because there's this section where the frame rate kinda takes a crap, but I didn't even get that. I don't know if that's just because of my Xbox 360 or something, but it just didn't happen really. The battle theme playing every 20 seconds didn't really bug me. Like, to be honest, I didn't even notice it enough for it to, like, annoy me, despite it playing a lot over the stages. I don't know, I'm just kind of forgiving of stuff like that.
This game takes place in two different gameplay styles, high-speed daytime stages and combat-based nighttime stages. The daytime stages are awesome. It's the first console game to feature the boost mechanic, which was introduced in Sonic Rush 3 years earlier. This high-speed gameplay is insane. We've gone from carefully platforming your way through levels at a fast pace to straight up breaking the speed of sound. These stages will test you in your reaction time, movement, and memorizations of the levels in general.
Neither in Sonic Colors, Generations, Lost World, or any other game you can think of has Sonic went this fast. This is the fastest Sonic game, period. That is objective, and it is fact. when you level up your speed to the maximum level, sometimes it's a little bit too fast, and the stages are amazing. The stages are set in different countries, and depending on which country it is, it actually gives a traditional sort of theme going along with that stage, and I think it's a really nice touch. Again, stages look beautiful, gameplay is really nice and smooth, and yeah, not a lot more to say. I've had most of what I want to say stolen from me.
And now it's time to talk about the most controversial thing in this entire game, the Werehog. Werehog stages are less about speed and more about combat and platforming. You have several attacks to use and can even finish off your enemies in quick time events. Your arms are also very stretchy, so you can use that for different kinds of platforming, like swinging on poles, climbing up ladders, to shimmering across platforms. Most people really hate the Werehog stages because it's not fast. Me personally, I actually really like the Werehog stages. Not just because I think that the combat is pretty fun, but also because I think that the music that plays in these stages are some of the best tracks in the game. However, the one thing I will agree with other people on is that these stages go on for way too long. They could go on from 15 minutes to half an hour, which is really overstaying its welcome.
Being a fan of beat-em-ups ever since I was pretty young, games like Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors and Yakuza and everything like that, I really liked the Werehog stages. People compare them to God of War a lot, and I can see the comparison because you have to climb and you have the stretchy claws and well, not the stretchy claws, but the stretchy arms and tons of platforming and that sort of thing. And I can see the comparison, and it's a comparison that annoys me a little bit because I hear it just so much. And yeah, I really liked God of War because, you know, I'm not going to dive into why, but that's a beat 'em up as well. And I really liked Sonic Unleashed, and I like God of War, so the two just kind of mix, don't they? I really like the stages because they are beat 'em ups, and I like beat 'em ups. People hate them because they're not fast, and because it's not Sonic. I didn't buy a Sonic game to play a beat 'em up. I don't want to play God of War. I don't want to buy a Sonic game to play God of War. You do realize you could just play a different Sonic game. It's not like you're getting ripped off or misled. It says on the back of the disc, like cover, that there's a different gameplay option. So like, if you're gonna complain like a bitch, then maybe you should read the back of the cover, perhaps. And if it bugs you that much, maybe you should, like, just play another Sonic game. People still complain about this to this day. How many Sonic games have came out since then? Generations, Colors, although not in that order. Colors, Forces, Mania. Just play a different game if you don't like the Werehog. Or have some flexibility. It really is not hard.
Sonic Unleashed also has Sun and Moon medals for you to collect. These medals can be found in the hub worlds or in the actual stages themselves. It's worth noting that these are actually required to collect in order to continue with the story. I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, I love exploring the levels to see what secrets they may have in store, but on the other hand, it's really annoying when I find out I still need a certain amount of medals to continue the story. But regardless, these are a fine enough addition that could have been handled a lot worse.
When I played Sonic Unleashed, I played it for a lot of time and all that stuff. And I remember in Adabat, I finally remembered the name, I went to this level and I didn't have enough medals. And this happened once in the entire game. And Although, when I stood there and I was like, oh, this is gonna be annoying, going through all of those levels again made me appreciate it a lot more. And although it can be seen as this sort of thing where it's like, oh, that's annoying, I don't want to play levels again to, like, get medals, but it actually gave me an appreciation for, like, finding secrets and all that stuff. And when I went back to God of War, and yes, I'm making a lot of comparisons to God of War, shut up. When I watched YouTube videos on God of War again, I was like, oh, there's, like, secret things. Oh, this is fun. Oh, and Sonic Unleashed gave me an appreciation of, like, hidden items and all of that stuff, which I didn't care for at all before. And the medal collecting, even though it was like that one time, really lengthened how much I played, because I went through all the stages again and I appreciated them a lot more. People absolutely reel on the medal collecting, but I didn't mind it one bit.
Lastly, the bosses are pretty good. Most of them are challenging, but they are pretty fair as well. My favorite bosses are the Chunan boss, the Shamar boss, and the Missouri boss.
A lot of the bosses are designed really well in terms of like how they look, and the Egg Beetle and the Egg Dragoon and all of the Gaia creatures look really good, as with everything in this game, but they're also pretty fun to fight against, and they're really memorable as well. Not a lot to see on it, they're really memorable, they're really good, unless your Tier of Grace where you take like 7 minutes or so on the Egg Beetle because you can't figure out how to beat it, am I right?
And now it's time for the spoiler section.
Ah, spoiler alert!
After restoring the 6th Chaos Emerald, Chip is pulled into the wall to be revealed who he really is. Chip, as it turns out, was Light Gaia the whole time, and the one who keeps Dark Gaia at bay. Sonic and Chip both set out to find the last Temple of Gaia, which just so happens to be in the middle of Eggman Land. What follows after that is the worst level in the entire game. GX, care to do the honors?
Thank you, Soup. I actually didn't mind Eggman Land.
What?!
There. I said it. I just straight up said it. It's hard. It's harder than any other level in the entire Sonic series. And I liked it. I liked it because it was that hard. I liked it because I like punishing myself and just pushing myself like that. And oh my god, it's 40 or 50 minutes of hell and I love it. But a lot of people absolutely despise Eggman Land because it is filled with tons of pits where you can die in lava from falling and all that stuff, and there's just bit after bit after bit after bit of hell in Eggman Land, and that's why people love it. They absolutely love it. It's the hardest level in the entire Sonic series. You know what I say? Get good. Like, the creators of Eggman Land even felt obliged to leave tons of one-ups scattered around the level, because they must have been sat in their office like, you know what? I think we might have gone a little bit carried away, like, just a bit crazy on this level. Like, it is ridiculously hard. Maybe we should, just add some one-ups because we just got carried away here.
Thankfully, after that train wreck of a level, we get another awesome boss fight with the Egg Dragoon. He's challenging, but still pretty doable if you know what you're doing and pay attention to all the quick time events. Dark Gaia then shows up to wreck the party by punching Eggman into space and straight up ripping the Dark Gaia out of Sonic. Chip then uses his light powers to call all of the temples to him, transforming into the Power Rangers the Gaia Colossus. The final boss isn't really all that interesting, to be honest. It mostly consists of flying towards Dark Gaia and a whole bunch of quick time events.
Sonic and Chip finally seal away Dark Gaia, with Sonic falling unconscious. Chip throws Sonic back to the surface, giving him his final goodbyes. When Sonic wakes up in the exact same place he met Chip, he finds his ring, in which he hears Chip's voice saying he'll always be with him. Sonic and Tails both run off into the sunset, except Tails is in a plane. Oh. The end.
Overall, Sonic Unleashed is an amazing experience that any die-hard Sonic fan should check out. Sure, it has its fair share of problems, but to be honest, as big as those problems are, the good things for me are just too good to pass up. I'm going to give Sonic Unleashed a 5 out of 5.
Sonic Unleashed is straight up my favourite game of all time. Yes, it has its flaws. Every game does. Keep your hair on. But the thing about it is that, to me, the flaws are so minimal. Like, to me, the biggest and highest flaw, which stops me from giving this game, like, a 10 out of 10 or something, is that once you complete the game, there isn't really much to do after that point. Overall, Sonic Unleashed, I love you to bits. The gameplay is really, really fun. The story is the best in the entire series, hands down. The character development of Chip is actually pretty good, and him as a character is just amazing, and he's probably the only character in Sonic I actually love. The music is phenomenal, the hub worlds are amazing, and it's amazing to wander them. They just look so saturated and amazing. The NPCs look really well designed. The bosses are great and very memorable. The flaws, once you have some flexibility at least, are almost non-existent, apart from not being able to do much after you've finished the game. There's tons of side missions and all of that stuff. There's shops and just so much in this game. And I know this isn't going to happen, but I want a sequel. I want a Sonic Unleashed 2. And my mind is just blank right about now. I don't really know what to say. There's so much I feel that could be said about this game, about how I love it, how I will praise it probably forever until the day I die, because I love this game so much. But wow, what a game. It definitely deserves to be my favourite game of all time. And with that said, I will give Sonic Unleashed a 9 out of 10.
Until then, I'm the Super Gamer, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!